Look, I've been around cars my whole life. I've worked on them, I've sold them, I've judged people for what they drive. Don't pretend you haven't done the same. And out of every car ever made in this country, no single vehicle tells you more about a person the second they pull up next to you than a Honda Civic. Think about it. A Camry guy is just a guy. A Corolla guy doesn't even know he owns a Corolla. He just knows it starts. A Mustang guy, well, you already know everything about him before he opens his mouth, and unfortunately, so does he. But a Civic? A Civic is a Rorschach test on four wheels. The same exact car, same badge, same H on the grille, can be driven by a 16-year-old kid with a coffee can exhaust, a 45-year-old nurse working 12-hour shifts, a software engineer who genuinely believes he's making a statement, and a guy who has not paid registration since 2017. Same car. Four completely different humans. And today we're going to decode every single one of them. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you're going to recognize yourself in at least one of these. And that's okay. Probably. Let's start with the one everybody knows. The one everybody pretends to hate but secretly respects. The Type R guy. You've seen him. You've heard him before, you've seen him. He's driving a car that looks like a transformer threw up on a Pokemon, and he wants you to know it cost 45 grand. The Honda Civic Type R, in his mind, is not a car. It's a personality. It's a lifestyle. It's the reason he wakes up in the morning. Ask him what he does for a living, and he'll say, I drive a Type R, before he tells you he does logistics for a medical supply company in Cincinnati. And here's the thing, he's not wrong to love it. The Type R is genuinely a phenomenal machine. Front-wheel drive shouldn't be that good. It just shouldn't. Honda figured out something the Germans spent 30 years and €1 billion trying to solve, and they did it with a 4-cylinder and a 6-speed manual. So respect. Real respect. But the owner? The owner is a different conversation. This man has a YouTube channel with 11 subscribers. He calls his wife the wife, and his car she. He has opinions about tire compound that he will share with you at a gas station while you are very clearly trying to leave. He believes, deep in his soul, that he could have been a professional racing driver if life had just gone slightly differently. Life did not go slightly differently. Life went exactly the way it was always going to go. But the Type R lets him believe. Every time he merges onto the highway at full throttle, that somewhere in an alternate universe, he is on the podium at Le Mans. And honestly, let him have it. The man works hard. Now, the SI guy. This is where it gets interesting. The SI guy is what the Type R guy thinks he is. Quietly fast. Doesn't need to scream about it. The SI is the Civic for the man who read every single review, watched every comparison video, calculated the cost per horsepower across 19 different vehicles, and concluded correctly that the SI is the smartest car you can buy in America under $30,000. He didn't buy it because it's cool. He bought it because the spreadsheet said so. This guy probably has a finance degree. He uses the word depreciation in casual conversation. He knows what his car will be worth in 4 years, down to the dollar. He's the same guy who buys generic ibuprofen and tells you, unprompted, that it has the exact same active ingredient. He's right. He's always right. And he hates that nobody asked. The SI guy is also the guy who, when his friends pull up in their leased BMWs and their financed Mustangs, just smiles. Just smiles. Because he knows in 2 years they'll be underwater on those payments, and he'll still be sitting in a paid-off Honda that does 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds and gets 32 miles per gallon. He's playing chess. They're playing checkers. And every time gas hits $4 a gallon, he gets a little smug. He earned that smugness. Let him have it too. Then we have the EK hatch guy. And brother, this is a whole separate species. If you don't know what an EK hatch is, it's the late 90s Civic hatchback. The little egg-shaped one. The one your cousin had in high school. The one that, somehow, in the year 2026, is selling for more than it cost brand new in 1999. Yes, you read that right. A used Honda Civic hatchback with 200,000 miles, a cracked dashboard, and the faint smell of an energy drink permanently embedded in the headliner is now an appreciating asset. The EK Hatch guy is 41 years old. He has 2 kids, he has a mortgage. He has a wife who has, at multiple points, asked him to sell that thing in the garage. He will not. He cannot. Because that car is not a car. That car is the last physical link to the version of himself that existed before he became a guy who knows what an HSA is. When he sits in that Civic, he is 17 again. The world is open. Life is a movie soundtrack. And nothing, not the kids, not the back pain, not the credit card statement that just came in exists for the 40 minutes he's behind the wheel. He's also the guy who, when you compliment the car, will tell you the entire build sheet, every modification, every part number, the story of how he found the rear lip on a forum in 2008. He doesn't mean to talk for that long. He just doesn't get to talk about it very often anymore. Be patient with him. He's a good man. Now we get to a controversial one. The base model LX guy. The LX guy did not choose the Civic. The Civic chose him. He needed a car. He had a budget. The dealership had this one. End of story. He doesn't know what trim level he has. If you ask him, he'll say, "It's a Civic." That's it. That's the whole answer. He doesn't care what color it is. He thinks it might be silver. It's actually called Lunar Silver Metallic. He doesn't know that. He doesn't want to know that. But here's the thing about the LX guy. He's the reason the Civic exists. He's the foundation. He's the guy who proves every single day for 15 straight years that this car can take anything. He doesn't change the oil on schedule. He changes it when the light comes on. He has never rotated the tires. He doesn't know what a cabin filter is. The car has 240,000 miles. It still starts on the first turn, every single time. There's something almost holy about the relationship between an LX guy and his car. It's not love. It's not even appreciation. It's just a quiet, mutual respect. He doesn't ask much from it. It doesn't ask anything from him. And together, they will outlive us all. Now let's talk about the one we all know exists, but nobody wants to talk about. The Boy Racer Civic. You know the one. The one with the wing that's bigger than the car. The one with the exhaust tip that looks like a coffee can. The one that's slammed so low you can hear it scrape on every speed bump in a Walgreens parking lot. The one that, somehow, against all engineering principles, is louder at idle than a small aircraft. This kid is 19. He works at a tire shop. He has spent more on his car in the last 6 months than he has on rent. His mother is worried. His mother should be worried. But here's what people miss about him. He's not a poser. He's a romantic. He genuinely believes with his whole heart that he is part of something, a culture, a movement. He's seen every Fast and Furious movie, multiple times. He can quote the first one, and in his own way, he's chasing the same thing that car guys have chased since the 50s. The feeling of being someone, of building something with your hands, of looking at a thing in your driveway that you, personally, made cooler than it was when you got it. Yes, the wing is too big. Yes, the exhaust is obnoxious. Yes, you can see the camber from space. But that kid is going to grow up and become the EK Hatch guy in 20 years, telling his own kid about the time he installed a cold air intake by himself in his parents' driveway. Don't make fun of him. He's just early. Then there's a category nobody wants to admit exists, the Civic minivan dad. This is a man, usually between 35 and 50, who owns a regular 4-door Civic sedan. Nothing modified, stock wheels, beige interior, 3 child seats in the back. There are crackers ground into the carpet, permanently. This car has not been cleaned since the day before his first kid was born. There is a juice box, somewhere, that has been under the passenger seat for what experts estimate to be 4 to 7 years. This man used to be a car guy. Look at him. Look closely. There's still a flicker of it. He still notices when an NSX drives by. He still watches car videos at midnight when the kids are asleep. But he made a calculation, a real one. He looked at the family, he looked at the budget, he looked at insurance for a teenage driver coming up in 5 years. And he picked the most reasonable, most reliable, most boring possible version of the car he actually wanted. And every time he drives it, there's a small unspoken grief. Just a little one. Not enough to ruin the day, just enough to remind him. He's the strongest guy in this whole video, by the way. Putting your dreams in the trunk to take care of your family is not weakness. That's the whole job. Now, The hybrid Civic guy. This is a newer phenomenon and I find him fascinating. The hybrid Civic guy is a man who, 15 years ago, would have bought a Prius, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. He couldn't. The shame was too great. He has friends. He has a reputation. He drives past a Cars and Coffee on Sunday mornings and he wants, on some level, to be acknowledged. So when Honda made a hybrid Civic that looks like a normal Civic, he exhaled. Finally. Finally, he could save the planet without his coworkers finding out. This man calculates his miles per gallon obsessively. He has a spreadsheet. He compares it to his neighbor's truck. He has, on at least one occasion, brought up gas prices completely unprompted at a dinner party. His wife has asked him to stop. He has not stopped. He will not stop. The fuel economy is his identity now. And honestly, for what gas costs in California, I get it. And finally, we have to talk about the one that started all of this. The original, the OG Civic owner, the 70s Civic guy, the 80s Civic guy, the early 90s Civic guy. The men, and at this point mostly the women, who bought a Civic when a Civic was a tiny, weird, fuel-efficient little oddity that nobody in America really understood. These cars made 100 horsepower if you were lucky. They had door handles that fell off if you looked at them wrong. The air conditioning didn't really work. And these people drove them 400,000 miles. 400,000 with one transmission on the original clutch, because they didn't know they weren't supposed to be able to. Those are the people who built the Civic's reputation. Not the Type R guys, not the kids on YouTube, those people. The quiet, reasonable, slightly frugal humans who needed a car that worked and got one. And every single Civic on the road today, every single one, is riding on the trust those people built, one oil change at a time, for 50 straight years. Here's what's beautiful about all of this. Every single one of these guys, every type, every flavor, every personality, they all chose the same car. A small, front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder Honda. The Type R guy and the LX guy are sworn enemies in their own minds, and they're driving cars that share probably 60% of their parts. The boy racer and the minivan dad would never speak to each other at a stoplight, but if their cars were stacked next to each other in a parking lot, you'd struggle to tell them apart from a distance. That's not an accident. That's the magic of the Civic. It's the only car in America that lets every kind of guy be exactly who he wants to be, while quietly being the same dependable, sensible, impossible-to-kill machine for all of them. Your grandma drove one. Your buddy races one. Your coworker leases one. Your brother-in-law has one in his garage with a tarp on it that he swears he's going to get back to. It's not a car. It's a mirror. And whatever kind of guy you are, somewhere out there, there's a Civic that already knows. So next time you pull up next to one at a red light, take a second. Look at the driver, look at the car, read the trim badge, check the wheels, glance at what's hanging from the rear view. You'll know exactly who that person is in about 4 seconds. And the best part? They're probably looking right back at you, doing the exact same thing.